Hello everyone and welcome. Hi everyone and welcome. You know who I am. I don't need to tell you who I am. I'm back to vlogging for a Q&A. I have your questions right in front of you. In front of you? In front of me. The very first one is from Magnus Mangel. Who was your first pet? Wow. That's an emotional start. When I was born, we had one already. My family had one already, my parents, which was called... Actually, I have an idea. My two first dogs. One was already an adult when I was born, and she was a female German Shepherd, and you will see that my family loves German Shepherds because those are the only dogs we have ever had in our family. This was called Rami, and it was my very first pet, and I was still a baby when I met her. Eventually, I became a teenager when she died. Unfortunately, she passed away. After Rami, we had Billy. Billy was my second dog, and he was the first one I had from the very young age. He came to our house when he was just a puppy. I miss them dearly much. I cannot even fathom losing right now my current dog, which is Ozzy. You probably know him. We still don't have a picture of him in the wall. Every single time I go through that corridor and I look at these pictures, I imagine that one day I will have Ozzy's picture over there near these portraits, and it absolutely terrifies me. It's a shame. I love pets, I love my dogs, I love my German Shepherds, but unfortunately they don't live as long as we do, and it's always obviously a pain to lose them. But I guess Rami was my very first dog. We had cats as well, but I don't keep them in my memory as much as my dogs. I like dogs better than cats. My mother loves cats, and she's the one that takes care of most cats we have. Not that I don't like them, I like them, but I like dogs better, don't get me wrong. As in minds, cool of Team 17 to do that. Question, how close or far do you see yourself being able to get your own place, so you have the freedom to make and play your videos Twitch without disturbing others? You are the best. I am still quite far, unfortunately. Things in 2014 ended very well. I was probably at the highest peak I ever had in my channel, getting hundreds of subscribers a day. And if I had continued that up, I could safely say right now that probably at the end of 2015 I would be able to get my own place. Right now, again, I can't say. I can't say if it will happen at the end of the year. I can't say if it will happen at the start of 2016 or throughout the year of 2016, because things slowed down a little bit when the escapist hype died. This is a struggle, this is a fight that all YouTubers have, and currently I'm changing from games to games, and things will get there eventually, I guess. But no, I'm not able to say when I will do that. I'm not able to say I can't do that right now, because I can't. If I had all the bills that my parents have currently here at their house, I would not be able to pay them all. Maybe I could move to some place cheap, but honestly, as I think I've said before, when I move, I want to do it and not come back. I don't want to risk too much. Potato Banshee, Penguin, Dinosaur Gaming, and Cristiano Valentin kind of made the same questions, so I'm gonna try to answer them as if there were one. Who or what inspired you to become a YouTube gamer? I've said in the past, and will keep saying it, Tales of Lumen was one channel that got me into YouTube. It encouraged me to start my own YouTube channel when I was unemployed and had more time in my hands. Tales of Lumen is a very cool dude. I always like to mention him because I think he is so cool, so funny. He has such a good commentary, he has an awesome accent as well, he's very kind, and I think his content is awesome. How old are you? I'm 28, Penguin. Why did you name the channel TheSparrowsJourney? Dinosaur Gaming. Now, I always used Sparrow as a nickname in games. Games like Counter-Strike, games like World of Warcraft, multiplayer games mostly. I always used the nickname Sparrow. Nazgul was the one before that, but that was quite dark, from Lord of the Rings, if you know it. But Sparrow is short, so I decided to go with something else. It could be the Sparrow's Tales, it could be the Sparrow's History, the Sparrow's Adventures, the Sparrow's Path, the Sparrow's whatever, the Sparrow's Fun. But I end up choosing the Sparrow's Journey because I think it fits. YouTube channel, my YouTube channel for me is a journey, and its tale is told by chapters, which I consider the videos. If you go to my Patreon page link, which should be down below in the description, that is a full testimonial on how I chose that name. Davemin, is that your real name? Davemin? Wow. What happens if someone wants to call you twice? Because my mother did that a lot in the past. Andre! Your mother will probably say, Davemin! That's a lot of Davemins. Why aren't you watching anime? Because I'm not a huge fan of anime. I guess the only anime I ever watched in my life was Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball, you know, with the Super Saiyan and the powers and the monkeys and the people from space and other planets. If you can even consider that anime, I'm not entirely sure what you consider anime or not, but I'm not a huge fan, and that's why. Bexy asks, do you have a bucket list? Are there things you are hoping to do? See. Also, are you a reader? What are some of your favorite titles? I'm not a huge reader. I don't read books regularly. Normally, sometimes I take books to my desk near my bed and I read some at night. But those are only cartoon books. Cartoon strips, that's the name that I was missing. I love those kind of books. Zits. I'm not sure if this is the name they call it in other countries. Obviously, this is all in Portuguese translated. Garfield and those kind of comic strips. I love that. And also, I love things like French people would call this Tintin. In Portuguese, it's called Tintin. And in Britain or US, I don't think you have these kind of cartoonish books. But they are books that tell stories. I just feel like things are much more fun and more graphical if they show you the picture. I always found more fun into those books than the ones you have to read and read and read, and there's no actual visual into the story. I guess that's what made me a graphic designer as well. Things that I'm hoping to see. I'm hoping to travel to other countries, to visit the US, to visit Canada, to visit Norway, Greece, France, the Caribbean beaches, go to Africa, meet lions, meet elephants, sharks. Rafael Roman asks, are you gonna be on E3 or the Gamescom? Gamescom happens in Europe, and as far as I know, it's the biggest gaming convention at Europe, so it's easier for me to attend. It will not happen this year, unfortunately, but maybe next year. I really want to go to Gamescom. Last year I've been to EGX. That was fun. I want to try Gamescom right now. And obviously E3. As soon as I have the financial conditions and maybe some invites from developers and whatnot to go to that big convention, I will, and it's one of my objectives. Have you ever been to prison? No? Riley Hammond asks, if you could go back to the beginning of your channel, is there anything you would do differently? Oh yes, that's a very good question. There's a lot of things I would do differently. I would probably pick some games to play that I didn't. I would not play some games that I did for my channel, and I would probably not stop and continue with other games that I put on my YouTube channel, but for some reason I stopped. There are a lot of things I would do differently. YouTube is a learning process in which the more you do it, the more you'll learn. You never stop learning how to do YouTube. Yes, there's a lot of things I would do differently. There are some things that I would definitely be doing the same way just because I am what I am and I cannot change that fact. I have my own personality. Fuchilin asks, how do you feel when you read your comments? Good or bad? And do you feel as a YouTuber a big difference between reading comments from your channel and the comments that are on some other YouTubers' comment section whenever you know the YouTuber or not? Not entirely sure about this second question. The first one though, normally the reaction is good on my comment section. I can safely say I have a good community on my channel and people normally are very supportive unless I put out a video that has a little bit more drama on it or there's something wrong happening. I've been thinking about not answering to every single comment on my videos just because it's not worth it. People like drama, people like to be noticed, people like attention, and sometimes I've been learning this, that they just comment to get attention, to get your attention and to upset you, and I've learned to ignore those people. Let's not feed the trolls. For the second question, I think you're asking if I feel different as a YouTuber when I comment on another YouTuber's comment section. Sometimes I comment on, for instance, I'm going to give you an example, Boogie's channel, and some people reply back saying, hey, it's Sparrow, I didn't know you watch Boogie's, and that kind of feels cool. That kind of feels good that me as a viewer and the other guy as a viewer himself, we are watching Boogie's and he watches my content as well. That feels good, and it feels good to know that my community also watches what I watch. That means we're in sync, and that feels great. Aslam El Nudur has a question. When you introduce yourself to someone, what is their reaction when they know that you are a YouTuber? They go with something like, what is that? What exactly do you do? What is being a YouTuber? I thought YouTube was only to watch videos, not make them. Or at least they think that you cannot make money out of YouTube. Before being a YouTuber, I also thought somewhat that way. I thought it was not possible to make a living out of YouTube. And even though I still cannot do that, I'm not able to do that entirely, I do believe there are some very comfortable people in life because of YouTube. Manwolves asks, can you describe your ideal woman? I normally like smart women. Smart as in they don't let themselves get fooled by anyone or by anything. I like smart women. I like sophisticated women, if that makes any sense. I like women that know what they're doing. I don't like silly. I don't like scary, silly women. I'm not gonna lie. I like beautiful women. And obviously, who doesn't? I have not been only dating beautiful women. I've had decent women, but they were not jaw-dropping women. It all comes to how I feel about them, obviously. If they're beautiful, if they're stunning, but I don't feel like being with them, I'm not, just because they're beautiful. But I do like women that take care of themselves, that take care of their nails, that take care of their teeth and their breath. XC Gaming, Raman Shinoda, Themekaronil LV, and Sil CO have somewhat the same question. When you were in school, did you do sports or did you enjoy watching them, or any favorite teams? Yes. In my entire life, I always liked to do sports. I always liked to exercise. Even today, I go to the gym regularly. The sport I like the most is football, and I played a lot of football in school. How much do you support Portugal's national football team? Obviously a lot. It's Portugal's national team. They are representing your country, so I support them a lot. But I'm gonna be honest, I have been a better or a bigger fan when I was in my younger age. Right now, for instance, if there's something happening with gaming, I give that priority, not only because it's related to my professional life, but because football nowadays is not what it was before. There's a lot of schemes, there's a lot of corruption in the news. I don't fully trust football as I trusted before. It's not as fun. It became a business, unfortunately. And who is my favorite player or sportsman? I would go with Cristiano Ronaldo. A lot of people don't like him, and I am gonna confess, he has some sides on him that I don't like being so arrogant, so full of himself. But he has a reason to do that. He's one of the best. He has hard worked for it, and I certainly think he's a good example to all the athletes out there. Rady77 Gaming asks, what are your hobbies and interests except playing games? I like to hang around with friends. I like to play sports. I like to go to the gym. I like to hang around with my pets. I like to go to the beach. I like to listen to music. What else? I like to be silly. The MKLT Sparrow, how did YouTube change your life? Was it major or was it just like, eh? It was major, because right now I'm unemployed still. I've been unemployed for 1 year and I've been doing YouTube ever since. If I didn't do YouTube right now, I would be employed in a company, and that would be completely different from what I have right now. Also, do you have a target on your Twitch stream? Yes, I have the target of being partnered with Twitch, which unfortunately is still not true. Last question, what do you wish to achieve from YouTube? I target to be making a living out of it without being worried about bills at the next month, or being worried about still being at home at this age, which honestly, if I could choose myself, I wouldn't be living with my parents anymore. I would have left this house about 5 years ago if I could, but unfortunately I can't still. UBS Who Billy asks, any tips on starting a YouTube channel? 3 things that I always say to people that ask me that. Be yourself. Don't ever try to copy anyone, because that won't last long. If people like you, they will join you. If people don't like you, they will not. That's simple. Just keep the ones that love your content and try to please those, being yourself. Second would be consistent, meaning don't go 2 weeks without uploading a video without warning your audience what you're doing. Be consistent, keep making videos as long as you enjoy doing it, and put out content frequently. Third and last advice would be hard work. Work hard, put a lot of time in it if you love to do it, and don't ever quit. Even if people try to bring you down, some other people will bring you up, I'm sure, and you will be rewarded in the end. Jorms, how's life in Portugal? Do you like living there? I have never lived anywhere else. If anything, I spent 1 week at Spain and 1 week at London. I really loved life in London, at least for 1 week. I'm not sure how I would endure after maybe 1 year, but I like living here. I like living here. Unfortunately, the financial crisis is still around. We have a very moderate weather. We have decent, moderate colds in the winter, and we have very hot summers. There's really not much I can complain about. The Portuguese normally are very welcoming people. This is probably one of the things that people that visit Portugal will say a lot. We are very welcoming and we're very kind to people that visit our place. If there's anything I would complain about is the government, how they're managing Portugal's money and how this financial crisis is still around. Our country is very small, so we are very compact. Even though we don't live in the major cities, most of us, I guess, there's still a lot of happening around the cities, which is always good. Life in Portugal is good, except the financial crisis. So those are all the questions. So as far as I remember, I had a key to give away for PS4 of The Escapist. So I'm gonna do that right now. Bex-C. Alright, Bex-C will be the one getting this key for PS4. I hope you have a PS4. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video. My name is TheSparrowsJourney. I'll be back to you once again with another vlog pretty soon. I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, bye bye.